Hey everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review. And today's review is in association with MarvelousNews.com, your number one news source for everything Marvel. And for today's review, I'm going to be taking a look at the brand new Marvel Legends Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 movie Yondu figure from Hasbro. Now this 6-inch figure comes packaged in the same style packaging we've been seeing with all the Marvel Legends. You've got the Legend Series logo up at the top, the figure's clearly displayed in the window box packaging. Down below, because this is a movie figure, we've got the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 movie logo and then the name of the character. On the side of the packaging, we have an image of the character from the movie, and then on the back of the packaging, we have a look at the actual figure, a brief bio in multiple languages, and then down below, a look at all the figures in the wave that you need to get in order to complete the Titus Build-A-Figure. Alright, let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside the packaging along with the other contents. Now, first of all, let me just say a big thanks to Hasbro for sending this figure out to me so I could review it for you guys. Also, I'm still battling that cold. However, I think I am on the tail end of it. Thanks for all the well wishes in the previous videos. But if my voice does sound a little bit off still, that's why, because I am still just getting over that cold. Hopefully, I should be good to go for Toy Fair, which begins this Saturday, February 18th. So if you haven't already, be sure to mark your calendars for that and check out MarvelousNews.com for all the latest coverage. So first of all, the figure comes with the right arm for the Titus Build-A-Figure. We'll be taking a look at the Titus figure in its own review once we've looked at all the figures in this wave, so be sure to check back for that. The figure comes with two different head sculpts, so we get this more normal looking head sculpt with the devious grin. The mohawk is kind of shaved down on this one, but I do like the face sculpt. I think they've done a pretty good job of capturing the actor's likeness. The skin tone is blue, and he's got the red mohawk again that's kind of just shaved down on this one. And then he's got like the scarring on the side of his face, so I like that detailing. And you can make out his goatee here on his chin. He's got kind of yellowish teeth and the red eyes. Now to switch out the heads is pretty easy. You just pop off the head you want to replace. It's attached with a ball hinge joint, and then you just pop on the head you want to replace it with, and it should snap on there pretty easily. The second head has the mohawk fully formed, and you can see they've used some lighter and darker red colors in the mohawk. And then again, you've got the scarring on the side of the skull, and you got the goatee, the red eyes and everything. Again, I think the face sculpt is pretty good on this one. Looks like the actor from the movie. And this one, he's whistling, so to activate his arrow power, or whatever you want to call it, where he basically controls the arrow by whistling. So they've sculpted this head sculpt to look like he's whistling, which is pretty cool. And then finally, they've included the arrow. So the arrow is attached to this little stream like you see in the movie, this little red stream, which is done with a translucent plastic. And both the arrow itself is done with a soft, pretty rubber plastic. So this might come out of the packaging a little bent. You might want to take a hairdryer and straighten it out a little bit. And then this little stream is pretty flexible as well. And so what you want to do is he's got this little quiver here on his belt, and you just want to stick it in there, the end of the tail piece, and so it looks like the arrow's flying out of his thing like you see in the movie. Again, the head sculpt, the second head sculpt is whistling, so that's the one you want to use when he's controlling his arrow. Now for the figure itself, I think they've done a pretty good job with the sculpting. The coat piece, the main part of the coat piece is a separate piece, so you can actually take this off, which I'll show you in a minute. But the sleeves of the coat are actually sculpted. However, because the sleeves of the coat actually look kind of like the shirt underneath, you can kind of get away with taking the coat off if you want to. He's got the Guardians of the Galaxy symbol on the coat, so I guess he's officially a member of the Guardians in this movie. And he's got some, looks like little arrows done with some gold metallic here on this other side of the coat. And I like the, again, he's got the little sheath to hold his arrow, and that's a separate piece on the figure. It's just a belt piece. And then he's got the little, like, suspenders and the nice sculpting detail on the shirt underneath there. And then he's just got the dark maroon pants and the dark brown boots. And you can see here's the figure without the coat. Now the coat's done with just that kind of rubber vinyl material like we often see with capes and everything. And again, you got nice sculpting detail on the coat with the little checkered pattern up here on the shoulders. And you got this harness piece or this holster piece here around the one shoulder. And then you've got some buttons and little straps and everything. So pretty nice sculpting detail on the coat. And then like I said, even though the sleeves of the coat are actually sculpted, it looks very much like the shirt he's wearing. So you can get away with, it looks pretty normal without the coat on. And again, you've got nice detailing on the actual shirt, even on the back. You've got some sculpting detail on the little suspenders that he's wearing. And then the belt piece, like I mentioned before. And then again, you've got nice sculpting detail on the pant legs and everything. Now this figure stands, if you count just to the top of his head, stands almost about 6¼ inches tall. If you count to the top of his mohawk on the second head sculpt, then he stands closer to 6¾ inches tall. And here's a comparison with the Guardians of the Galaxy, Rocket Raccoon, and Star-Lord and Gamora figures from the first movie, and then the Drax figure from the second movie. And I'd say the scale between these is pretty good. Articulation, as I said before, the head's attached with a ball hinge joint, so he can look back about that much, and he can look down pretty good, and you can turn his head to the left and to the right. Arms attached with your standard ball hinge joint at the shoulder, so he can get his arm out good, has good rotation, has a bicep swivel, double hinged elbow, so good bending there at the elbow, swivels at the wrist, and hinges on the hands, so good up and down movement with the hands. Has an ab crunch type joint, so he can crunch down about that much. And then with the jacket, he can look back about that much. Again, you can take the jacket back, and he can look back a little bit more if you take the jacket off. He's got a waist swivel, and then the legs are attached with ball joints. He can only do the splits about that much, and then he can get the leg forward pretty good. And he can do the leg out and back. He's got a thigh swivel, double jointed knee, so good bending at the knee. Does not have a boot cuff swivel. Has hinges on the feet, so up and down movement, a little bit of up and down. Actually, has pretty good up and down movement, and then does have ankle pivot and 2 peg holes on the bottom of it. Okay, so that's my review. So overall, I like this figure. I think the head sculpt, I think both head sculpts look pretty true to the actor, and the overall figure itself, I think, looks pretty true to the character and how he appears in the movie. Now, this figure, along with the rest of the wave, is starting to hit shelves now. It is available at Big Bad Toy Store now. We'll have a full image gallery up at marvelousnews.com. There'll be a link in the video description below. As always, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video. Also, if you haven't already, please follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. I'll have links to those in the video description below. And until next time, I'll catch you later.